Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another concert review. Yeah, I've been busy lately. I've been going to see a lot of shows. That's going to end for a little bit now. I've got really nothing planned till like late September. But the last week or so, been attending all sorts of things. So last night, which was the 8th of August, I was at Bethel Woods Center for the Arts up in Bethel, New York, the original Woodstock site, okay, from the original '69 festival, for Alice Cooper, as well as Halestorm. There was another third opener who I didn't catch, but I got there a little late last night, just in time to see most of Halestorm's set. Okay, Halestorm, a pretty popular modern metal and hard rock act, led by the fiery vocal, guitar, and just onstage presence talents of Lzzy Hale. Okay, their music is kind of like a throwback to like the late 90s, early 2000s, that kind of like that new metal scene. Okay, very energetic songs. They play for about an hour. Lzzy is a dynamic front woman. She's always got a guitar slung over her shoulder, right? Up there, you know, doing the vocal thing. The band is very, like I said, very energetic, very lively. Really got the crowd into things last night. You know, it was a weird evening weather-wise. It's like it just started raining like an hour before show start. And it got really chilly up there because, you know, the Bethel, New York is kind of the higher elevation, right? Sullivan County, New York. So needed a band to kind of get everybody into what was going on, and I think Halestorm did a great job. You know, you may or may not like the band. Okay, I have listened to various Halestorm songs over the years. Generally, not my cup of tea. I thought they put on a really good show last night. You know, like I said, it's hard to kind of describe them. They remind me of like late 90s, early 2000s metal. Okay, the whole kind of new metal scene. But she's a really dynamic front woman. Your opinion may vary on her vocal style. You know, she does a lot of screaming. Okay, I mean, I listen to a lot of music with like screaming vocals and growling vocals, right? Because I like a lot of death and black metal stuff. I will admit, after about 45 minutes, I was like, you know, my patience for her nonstop assault was waning a little bit. But she's just, you know, the band is just so cool. The tunes are very catchy, which is good. They're just good anthemic, like modern hard rock and metal. And, you know, the crowd dug them. They really dug them. So, you know, got to give them props. Good stuff for sure, you know. Not something I would, you know, they're not a band that I would listen to on a regular basis, but material is not bad. Like I said, a lot of hooks in the tunes. They're energetic. They're pretty relentless at times, but good stuff, okay. Played about an hour. Alice Cooper and the band came on right about, I guess, around 9:30 or a little bit before. Launched right into Feed My Frankenstein. Great way to get the crowd into it and just, you know, the big Frankenstein guy come running out. You know, it was just awesome. It's a great tune anyway. It's one of his later tunes, you know, from recent years. Just a really, really fun tune of like, you know, kind of if you like the kind of the Alice Cooper style from like the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. A great tune, right? It's more of a metal song. You got the 3 guitar players up there. Really, really cool. Just and Alice in the costume. You know, he's got the top hat. Just awesome stuff. Then they launched into No More Mr. Nice Guy. All right. Surprised to hear it so early in the set, right? You know, one of my friends who was there, she had mentioned that she's like, "Oh, did you see the set list?" Because you know there are a whole bunch of us sitting there, and I had not looked at the set list. I generally, before I go see a show, I look at the set list from the previous nights just to get an idea for what to expect. You know, some bands play the same shit night after night after night. Others kind of, you know, mix it up a little bit. So. She was like, yeah, it's like I looked at the last night and the last couple nights and really different set lists from the last couple tours. And I'm like, cool. You know, I'm all for that. I love when bands switch things up a little bit, especially the legacy bands. You know, some bands will just go out and play just nothing but the hits over and over again because, let's face it, a lot of people in this country here especially, that's all they want to hear. But Alice mixed it up a little bit. So No More Mr. Nice Guy. So Feed My Frankenstein, No More Mr. Nice Guy. Great way to start it off. And then they pulled out Bed of Nails from the Trashed album from the late 80s, which I love that tune, and that went over very, very well. Then, you know, Raped and Freezing, killer tune, killer anthem from the $1 Billion Babies album. I was totally liking that. Fall in Love from Paranormal, their most recent album, which came out 2 years ago. That was kind of a nice surprise, okay? And then, you know, Muscle of Love, title track from the last album of the original Alice Cooper band, or Alice Cooper group, whatever you want to call them. That was a surprise. All right. By this point, of course, because just this is the way people are here, an older crowd, a very well behaved, I might add. It was a great night. No shenanigans by any 20-something-year-old millennials. No, not a lot of shit-faced drunk people stumbling all over the place. Wrecking shit and all that kind of stuff. It was just a very, very respectful crowd that just seemed you just was there to see to listen to some great music and just chill out on a really nice night. But of course, I'm looking around me and I was sitting in the lawn. There's a lot of people in the lawn, and it's just like they played "Fallen in Love" and "Muscle of Love," and you see everybody's just kind of sitting there like what is this? So what are these songs, right? And mild applause after the songs, but then of course they launch into "I'm 18" and everybody goes bonkers. So again, and I know I complain about this all the time, but it's just, I experience and see so many people who go to these concerts of these like older legacy bands, and I'm just convinced that most of them don't know anything beyond what they heard on the radio and maybe a greatest hits set. I really don't think many of these people were ever like album fans and ever like really true fans of some of these bands that where they, embraced and listened to all their music. It's like they focus on that subset of like 5 songs, and they go to hear just that, and everything else they just kind of tune out. So, during, "Falling in Love" and "Muscle of Love," I see people, running to the bathrooms, and everybody's just sitting down on their phones. It's like the same thing from the Rolling Stones concert the other night. It's just, I guess I should just accept it, right? Just move on. But it's just so different from the way I am, right? So I was totally getting into "Muscle of Love" because I like that album and that tune. But anyway, let's get off that. So "I'm 18" followed, awesome as always. Then "Desperado," great fucking song, right? Followed by "$1 Billion Babies," okay? And then back to the 80s stuff with "Poison," the big hit from the Trashed album. People totally getting into that. Then you had a Nita Strauss guitar solo. She's running all over the place doing all sorts of crazy shit. It was, she's got the look. She's just got this charisma on stage, and she's like even though they have 3 guitar players, she's the one who brings like kind of like the flash, and Alice has had like female guitar players the last bunch of years, and she totally fits. Totally fit. She's awesome to watch, but it's great seeing the 3 guitar army up there. Very, very cool. What else we got? Then we got "Roses on White Lace." Okay, totally not expect that. Another great deep album cut. "My Stars," "Devil's Food." Love "Devil's Food." The Black Widow Jam. Okay, this of course from the "Welcome to My Nightmare" album. Then the incredible, creepy ass, probably the highlight of the evening for me, Steven. All right, he comes out. He's got the straitjacket on, and here's in this part of the night they're having all the props are coming out. Pulled out all the stops. First of all, the stage was like a gigantic castle, creepy looking castle. They brought out the giant Frankenstein, and then for Stephen goes into dead babies, and then of course the giant baby comes out. They do the guillotine, the beheading for, "I Love the Dead" and "Escape" after that. And then "Teenage Frankenstein," another great, raucous, modern Alice tune, right, which is killer. Frankenstein comes back out again. And then for the encores, you got the awesome "You Got Me Under My Wheels." I mean, just a great tune. Another great anthem from the band. And then, of course, to close it all out, you can't leave the stage. Alice and the band can't leave the stage without playing "School's Out," right? So they bring Lizzie Hale out to join up on the vocals, all right, and the guitars. They're all out there, and everybody goes home happy. So, all in all, a lot of tunes, like 20 songs, or 22 songs, whatever the hell it is. Well, what is this here? Yeah, like 22 songs. Went really quick, an hour and a half, man. Boom, 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 boom. Awesome. Highlights for me, Dead Babies, Steven, "I Love the Dead," Black Widow, shit, "Devil's Food," "Muscle of Love" was awesome. "Feed My Frankenstein," "No More Mr. Nice Guy." I loved it all. I loved it all. And just, this was like showmanship. And I think that's why I love going to see Alice Cooper, because he always has excellent musicians who can totally recreate all these classic songs. Alice is always like the master theatrical showman. He's just spot on all the time. You got all these extras, people who come out, either in costumes or what have you, and just adds to the whole kind of event, right? It's like, it's an event. Going to see Alice Cooper is going to see an event. All right, and everybody was just totally into it. Again, you had your people who were just kind of waiting for those hit singles, but I think overall everybody was really impressed, had a great time. Like I said, a very well-behaved crowd, very appreciative crowd, and a lot of fun, and a good turnout. I wouldn't say a great turnout. Definitely a hell of a lot more people there than there was for Yes in Asia or the Joe Bonamassa show. Probably, if I would guess, 6,000, 6,000, maybe something like that. There was a good amount of people on the lawn, not a ton. The the amphitheater, the pavilion looked fairly full. So, but it was a really affordable show, a really good time. It turned out to be a nice night. It was a little chilly up there after the rain, but over by 11, I was home by 12. Can't beat it, right? So, and for the few of you who I met throughout the evening who watched the show, great bumping into you. It's always nice to meet some of our viewers. So glad you're going out to see live events. I try to make as many as I can, but can't do them all. But this was fun. Glad I went. So anyway, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube every damn day. So stay tuned for more content this weekend, and then all next week, and the week after that, the week after that, and the week after that. Tell your friends. Make sure they subscribe. Click on the alert button so you get emails with all of our content uploads, right? You don't want to miss one of them, but if you do, all you need to do is come to the channel, go into our playlist. You can find all the stuff that I've got nice and neatly organized for you, right? So you can find all your favorite classic album wars, top 10 songs, questions and answers, new product showcases, whatever it is we do here. It's all right there. So we'll see you again real soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.